Great. So before we start the panel, let's begin by acknowledging the land and the people of the land. Toronto Field Naturalists wishes to acknowledge this land through which we walk. For thousands of years, the land has been shared by the Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe. Toronto is situated on the land within the Toronto Purchase, Treaty 13, the traditional and treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the First Credit Nation. This territory is also part of the Dish with One Spoon Wampum, a covenant between the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Wendat peoples and allied nations to peacefully share the land and all its resources. Today, the land is home to peoples of numerous nations, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to continue to care for and share the beauty of this land. I want to thank everyone, particularly the lecture team, for organizing our lecture series this spring, including today's panel on advances in forest therapy leading to better human health. I'll introduce Dr. Guangu, Wang, and Beth Foster in a few moments, but just a reminder regarding Beth's talk. She's going to guide you through connecting with nature in your own home, such as with a house plant or even a fruit or a rock. I'll just show you the plant I've chosen right here. You can see it. It's a spindly thing. Cats really love it. So if you've got a house plant or anything else from nature in your home, you want to be sure you have it available next to you when Beth does her presentation later. Let me just give you an introduction to Shinrin-yoku, which is forest bathing. It's a Japanese practice that originated around 1982, and it involves immersing yourself in a forest in a way that engages all of your senses. Various studies have indicated that forest therapy can have considerable health benefits. It can lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. It has also been shown to increase the potency of the human body's natural killer cells, which fight viruses and cancer cells. This panel will provide a summary of the most recent scientific research, especially on the mental health benefits of forest therapy, as well as insights from a professional Ontario-based guide, Beth, who will lead the group into the woods to listen, smell, and touch nature, what nature can offer. And that's where your house plant or something from nature comes in handy. But before we start, let me just welcome all of you who are joining us. This event has been shared on several most social media channels aside from our TFN website. And please share in the chat how you heard about it. We hope you'll come again for our future lectures and hope you'll join us as members of Toronto Field Naturalists. Okay, let's get started. Now I'm really delighted to introduce the first of today's speakers, Dr. Guangu Wang, who is Associate Dean and Director of Asian Forest Research, Faculty of Forestry at the University of British Columbia. And he's joining us 3 hours earlier at his time in British Columbia. With a wealth of expertise in national park management, recreation, and ecotourism development, Dr. Wang has made significant contributions to the field in the United States, Canada, and China. As director of the Multidisciplinary Institute of Natural Therapy, or MINT, at UBC, and director of the National Park Research Center, Dr. Wang leads groundbreaking research initiatives in project management. He's successfully overseen projects worth $4 million over the last decade. Dr. Wang has authored numerous books, chapters, technical reports, and scientific papers, including approximately 100 peer-reviewed international journals on this subject. He serves as an associate editor for the Journal of Forestry Research, Frontier of Ecology, Evolution in Forests, among others. Furthermore, he holds the position of director of the Asia Pacific Forestry Education Coordination Mechanism, where he actively contributes to advancing forestry education and collaboration in the field. Dr. Wang, we're really honored to have you today. You're one of the esteemed leaders in this field, and we're just delighted to be able to have you give a presentation to us. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can now put up your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me see. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, it looks great. You're
Okay.
just fine.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Alan, for your invitation and the introduction. Today, I would like to talk about forest and human well-being, as the Philip just mentioned. So I will going to talk about our origin, evolution, challenge, and opportunity. As Philip mentioned, my name is Guangu Wang. I'm the associate dean and the professor at UBC. I was one of my lab is multidisciplinary institute of the nature therapy. So I would like to talk about this. What the slide was about. I'll talk about the introduction and origin for evolution, opportunity, and the limitation of the forest therapy. So what history of the nature therapy? If you look at in the ancient time, its nature connectedness connection has been known in a different culture for the centuries. In the Asian and also the indigenous history, we saw a lot of Taoism, Shinto, Celtics, and also a lot of practice in North America, in the Native American. Their practice a lot is quite similar the forest bathing. And in our ancient time, we're always talking about the balancing act, either from Chinese or from India, from our Native American. They're all thinking about the balancing, balancing between the human health, yin and yang, and also the balancing about the health for individual all the way to all the ecosystem of the earth. So the national part of public health crisis was happening through our humankind. This is the one of the photo I was using for when in the 1918 is Spanish flu was killed hundreds and thousands of people in North America. You see, a lot of people was traveling to escape that kind of the pandemic. They threw the car to Yosemite. So this is one of the photo. Was I was in this presentation just to show the people in Yosemite. And if you look at the COVID-19, and my team was doing the research on the people movement in Canada. You see, during that almost 3 years of the pandemic, the people in Canada, most is stay home, but the people, the only place they go is to go to the park. So this is the Google data was checking the people movement. So you can see right now in the global level, is one of the every 8 people in the world living in a mental disorder. If you look at the right now the city, about 80%, 50% of people living in the city. I think in the 2050 will be about 70 people, and that is the sort of the stimulate and raise our mental health. And also right now our workplace is also the source of the stress and the mental issue. So forest therapy, how forest therapy can help for the human health. This is kind of like the multidisciplinary research. So it's including like life science, environmental science, physiological science, psychological science, public health, and the social culture and spiritual study. So it's kind of like a mix the discipline. So I look at the literature was talking about forest related forest therapy related publication since 1982. 1982 is a Shinrin-yoku was was established in Japan in 1982. So you see the leadership is going up, particularly during the COVID. They had the COVID, and during those COVID time, and how human, all the people was used the nature as sort of the mental health reductions. So a lot of leadership come up with U.S., China, UK, and Canada and Central. So the look at those kind of the finding. There's a key research finding was coming from those literature. One is reduction on the physiological stress, and boost our immune function, and improve our mental health and well-being, and enhance our attention and also cognitive performance, and also the potential of the like cardiovascular and metabolic benefits. So what the theory govern of the forest therapy is currently is still has not well developed. Most the research was using the framework of the biophobia hypothesis, and also the attention restoration theory and the stress reduction theory. If you look at the whole the process, the forest therapy interaction process, this is human and forest. They interact together, have get the health benefits. So people will always ask why, what kind of forest, what the element in forest can provide the human health. This is of course, the forest in the world is different from tropical rainforest to subtropical to temperate and to arboreal forest. So what actually the forest elements was impact on the human health. So if you walk into the forest, you will probably noticing about soundscape, landscape, and the different tree composition and the stem structure. You can probably you can feel different kind of the vital signs, and also the season difference. So we did some of the literature review and also the research. We saw the different forests in a different region. They have the different kind of the key characteristics, and how they are benefit to the psychological and physiological health. And also each of the forests have their limitation as well. So when the human get into the forest, and what kind of reaction. So if you see, you can have people were talking about the five sense, right? I think Beth will later will bring you guys to the indoor forest therapy. You open your five sense: smelling, hearing, tasting, touch, sight. And also, it's important about the native ions. This is the one of the in the forest can generate a lot of native ion that can help support our human health. And when you get into the forest, you will do the meditation, breathing, walking, sharing, and also the mindfulness activity. So this is the literature was provide when you have guided meditation with different kind of procedure. I will not go through very detail about each one and how their procedure and how to benefit have the health benefit. And this is the five sense how to open what kind of practice mechanism, and what the health benefit from different kind of the five sense engagement. And we also look at the practice in the forest. So currently we have quite a lot of different kind of the forest therapy practice in the world, but normally it's this two categories. One is a relational nature of forest therapy. That is the biggest organization called AFT. I think Pat is one of the AFT certified guy. Another one is nature-based forest therapy. That's in Europe called Forest Therapy Hub. It's about like using it's both is about the forest therapy practice, the organization. Yeah. Also, we also have some others like activity. It's kind of like enhance nature connectedness. When they doing the forest therapy the practice, normally people was doing some pre and post assessment. That is mean to help you to understand what the body change with when you are working in the forest before and after. And this is quite a lot of in-depth. I will also not talk to in detail because only give me 40 minutes. So we have the different kind of the psychological and physiological in-depth. Psychological, the physiological also including like heartbeat, blood pressure, also some as a researcher, we're doing different kind of the test like a brain wave activity, EEG. Sometimes is using MRI to see the different physiological mechanism. So when you get you know about the forest and you know about the different kind of the activity in the forest, and this is the procedure we are using. I think Brad probably later he was also using some other procedure to how you doing into the forest. This is we have the two procedure in our UBC. One is working with a young undergraduate student. One is working with a senior person. The, the one difference is between the forest yoga and also the forest immersions. It's a little bit different because elder is a it's not like a young people have a lot of energy to release their energy. We're working quite a lot at UBC Spirit Park. We are quite fortunate. We got the forest just beside UBC campus. It's like old growth in. It's not kind of old growth, but it's quite similar old growth forest in BC. We're working with our senior person, also our undergraduate student, to when they are got something. We have organized different kind of the forest therapy training and forest therapy workshop as well. So all those is most is outdoor activity, but we as a research we're working on the indoor simulated forest immersion. So we try to mimic the nature and to see how this kind of element can be bring indoor to support for those people cannot go outside because the immobility condition and also some senior or some patients. So this is the simulate forest immersion lab in at UBC in my group. We're doing the indoor create indoor environment to see how this kind of the using the VR, using the 3D to also the different kind of the equipment to support to see what kind of benefit from bring those elements into the indoor, how different between the indoor and the outdoor. So and it's also we have a lot of the outcome from the indoor forest therapy as well. This is one of the this is all the research we are conducting at UBC. You see, this is the blood cell before and after. So you can see the for different kind of the combination of the forest therapy approach, indoor forest therapy approach can support equally well support to the human health. So also we work with hospital to using forest therapy to relaxing and comforting the patient before they are going to the surgery or going to the medical exam. We're also working with different kind of population like a firefighter, senior people, forest worker, health caregiver, and also different young child. So this is some of the research we are conducting here. But in the globally, as Philip was mentioned about what the forest therapy campaign in the globally, I will give a little bit about the my travel to different places to see the forest therapy practice around the world. So this is the in Germany in the beds in they are working on the forest therapy and the aquatic therapy as well. This is just about like a 15-minute drive from Freiburg University. This is the birthplace of the forest therapy in Japan. It's 1982. This is the I will have that case study from here from Akasawa later. This is from Korea. They are developed the forest therapy base. This is the whole area was designated for the forest therapy. This is in Korea, and they have the food garden to do the food therapy as well. This is in China, in Great Wall National Forest Park. They have the doing forest therapy, and this is in Europe, in Spain. This one of the forest therapy hub. They promote their forest therapy around the European country. And this is the one is SLU in Sweden. The Swedish Agriculture University, they are doing the promoting forest therapy as well. In BC, we have Holy Hope. I don't know you have been there or not. This is one of the quite oldest facility for the meditation, but now they are introduced quite a lot of forest therapy into their practice. So you probably know my background. This is one in an animal. It's it's called free spirit sphere. This is the area, and you can get into the forest living in this one of the ball. And it's quite nice place. If you can see my background, this is a good place to get meditation. So in the forest therapy in the world is quite different. It's in Asia, in North America, in EU, but it's one. I have to say, it's most of the place is just started to using forest therapy in their community. But it's the business is booming. I would like to, as Philip mentioned to me last time, you had the forest department people here. So I would like to talk about the little bit case study from Japan. And this is the birthplace of the forest therapy in Japan is Akasawa. Now this is one of the very small it's a large area for was using is a timberland was lot during after World War II for rebuild Japanese economy, and then in the 90 around the 1982 all the area was it was law, and leave the area without any economic support. Used to be the timber is only the source of the economic sector. Quite few non-timber forest product and tourism. So and Japan is the culture is Shinto culture, so they are quite believe that nature and the human health, and in that area they are greatly developed. In particular after World War II, and they acquired a lot of people during the economic development. A lot of people in Japan they get a mental issue, so they have developed the forest therapy area with Shinto religion. So this is the area, the forest therapy area. They're doing forest therapy, and also they have in Japanese forest service. They're doing a lot of research to see forest therapy indoor, the forest therapy, the effect to the human mental issue, the mental health. And right now they are not only integrate the forest therapy, but also has some therapy, music therapy, food therapy as well. So this is some of the photo. And they also developed the kind of like housing to support those forest therapy base. This is also the food therapy in when you're coming back from forest therapy walk. This is like a food therapy, healthy food. So in this area, it's about, you see, each year it's quite about like 200 acres of the land. It's quite small area with designated for the forest therapy. They receive about 140,000 visitors per year. They estimate about $70 million per year for the revenue generated from this area. It's quite well developed, and if you guys was interested to see the forest therapy there, is one of the place to go. And in BC, we're working with city of the Powell River. Those Powell River used to be the forest town as well. You see, this is the photo I took from the museum at in the Powell River. And this is the Pearl River pulp mill. You see how the community was developed around the pulp mill. This in the 1930, 1940, the pulp mill was provide almost 1/3 of the newsprint for the North America. 2021, the mill was closed and leave the community without any industry support. So the city or the mayor of the city was invite us to help them to develop the forest therapy base. This is only like 100 hectare of the land will develop for the forest therapy facility to attract the people. And also of course there are a lot of senior people was moved to that area. Also the high-tech people working from home for Google, for Amazon, they are living there. So this is the space created not only to support the community, also will generate income. In the meanwhile, they are support the forestry during their waiting for the next like rotation. So this is a kind of the area we are working with the Pearl River. So it's not only for to generate the money through the for therapy or recreation, but also can generate the carbon credit for the city. So this is another separate research as well. And in the North America, we also have the a lot of urban forests with all the city, particularly in Vancouver, in quite a lot of city. This the nature-based health industry was emerged. This in the North America, we see the rapid growth in the forest and the human health. Only if you look at forest therapy training organization, is about 15. I think in Toronto also have the GIF is from Toronto, AFD from US. So in Canada, we also here, particularly in the BC, we have the green rep. Is the doctor can prescribe the if any patient want to have the mental or have the stress or something, and they can get like a 2 hour a week to go to the nature to get recovered instead of the taking medicine. This is also and also in the North America, you see a lot of big city. They have the very good the facility, a green space facility can be used for therapy. So it's kind of like it's not only you need to go to the far away to the national park, but also you can go to the near city, whatever it has about 200 or 100 acre of the forest. You can easily do in the forest therapy in the area. So this is the one I always like to mention about the Apple Park headquarters in in Los Angeles, in San Francisco. Is a arts for is a great job for the Stephen Jobs that developed the Apple Park. Inside or outside, they have the using the great space for their for their company. So it's the a lot of research was was show that in this kind of green space can enhance people's creativity. So I will quote the one of the paper here as from Nature Communication with one of my friend was in Australia. The paper was state that only the visitor mental health for protected area, their value will be up to about $6 trillion per year. So it's can we see in the future it's quite like a big business in the world. But they still have some limitation, as we mentioned, climate change, flooding, fire, landslide also cause a lot of issue. And like I was mentioned about the in the BC, a lot of area was lot without any forest. Also, that deforestation caused other zoonotic disease as well. And the fire, forest fire. Forest fire is not only destroy the forest, but most of the time destroy of the house on the village. That happened in BC, and this year was happened in Los Angeles as well. The forest fire caused also impact on the human health, particular wildfire smoke. So quite a lot of some of the city was mismanaged because they have planting different kind of the some specific tree. Like this photo I take from Nanjing. You see the cupcake from the popular in the May, particularly in this season. That cupcake was impact on the human health as well. And we are living in the BC. Here we also have the tip. I don't know you guys heard about the tip. I don't know in the Toronto area, but in Vancouver is pretty increasing some instance. So let me see. So it's quite challenging to do the forest therapy research. So in the future, there's research, policy, and business need to be combined to see how uh, we can develop the more holistic forest therapy approach to help the human. Um, so this is, and luckily, I would like to announce the conference, the second international conference on forest therapy will be held in BC in Vancouver in UBC in August 9 to 11 on 2022. We have the global leading professor also. Amos, probably a lot of people know Amos is one of the leading expert in ELFT. We have the different professor from all over the world coming to give the lecture, give the keynote speech. We're expecting about like 250 people all over the world will join this conference. So this is my research group at UBC. All the research was conducted by my research and my collaborator. So it's about the time, right? Thank you so much. It's I'm waiting for any if you guys have any questions. Thank you.
Dr. Wang, thank you so much. What a comprehensive view. It's amazing how much activity has sprung just from the initial development of forest therapy in Japan. It's now all over the world and spreading across Canada too. Thank you so much. That was a comprehensive presentation. So next I would like to introduce Beth Foster, who is an accredited forest therapy guide based in Barrie, Ontario, right nearby. She directs her own forest therapy guiding business called Forest Bathing with Beth. And she's fully certified through the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy and is a member of the Ontario College of Teachers with a master's in education. Beth believes that in order to restore balance to our planetary and emotional health, we must reignite a deeper and sustainable connection between humans and the earth. Beth, we are now in your hands. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Thank you so much, Phil, and thank you to everyone. Certainly, thank you to Dr. Wang. Dr. Wang is one of my mentors and one of the people I have learned so much from. I was trained, as Dr. Wang mentioned, by the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy Guides in 2018, and I have been guiding since then. During COVID, we learned to nature-based wellness solutions, which was virtual forest bathing. So I am going to be guiding you in a little part of a segment that Dr. Wang mentioned, which is it's not just exposure to nature, it's connection with nature, as well as connection with like-minded people. That is a huge part of the healing and therapeutic benefits of forest therapy. So I'm going to be talking to you for about 15 minutes or so. I will be inviting you to keep your screens keyed up. You're welcome to turn your screens on, but you don't have to. And I would suggest you don't. I hope you're all right now in a private place where you feel quite safe, and that you're in a comfy spot. You could be on a yoga mat, you could be in a hot tub, you could be on a recliner lazy boy chair, just somewhere where you feel well supported, and also that you feel that you will not be disturbed for the next 15 minutes or so. You could be on a balcony. If you have a window nearby, it would be great to have that. If you have something from nature, I've got my geranium. I know Phil has his plant there, but it could be anything that's just near. Like we often have these things on our desks. I have a favorite feather. I have a rock that I found on a beach. I have a rough rock. I've got a pine cone, and I also have a little orange. So if there's anything like that that you could have near you that I will be inviting you to engage a bit with, that would be good. But the most important thing is that you feel safe, well supported, so that you are comfortable closing your eyes. I will keep my camera on, so you'll be able to see me if you want, but I would recommend you don't look at me, that if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, that you just look out your window or look at your plant or whatever your natural thing is. As Dr. Wang mentioned, usually a typical outdoor forest bathing walk would be 2.5 to 3 hours. So this is just one little part called the pleasures of presence, which is meant to engage all your senses. And after this, much more would happen in a traditional walk. But just as you settle in, um, I would invite you, if you're comfortable, to turn, if you do have a window, to turn and look at it, out it. Just let your eyes wander. Look at what the most distant thing in nature is that you can see out your window. If you don't have a window, just look at your whatever your natural thing is, your plant. Just have a good look at it. Try and look at it as if it was the first time you'd ever seen it. What about it might you notice? If you're comfortable, I'd also invite you to take off your slippers, your socks, your shoes, whatever you have, and even your toes could be in your socks, but it's even better if your toes might be barefoot and wiggling on the ground, on the earth that is below whatever the flooring is that is supporting you, so your toes can wiggle a bit. But as you settle in, I would invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And as we begin, I'd invite you to inhale deeply through your nose. Sniff the air. Sniff what is around you. Sniff as if you were a dog or a coyote. Just noticing, are there any smells in this air for you? If you have your plant nearby and you're comfortable, or whatever your thing from nature is, it could be a cat or a dog too. I'd invite you just to sniff it through your nose. Notice, are there any aromas or smells there for you? Just let that infusion of aroma just roll around inside your body. Keep breathing in through that smell. If you were touching your plant, I'd invite you to continue to do that with your eyes closed, if you can, just discovering the different textures that are there. Trying to let that plant or that pet or that feather, let it reveal itself to you just through your fingertips. If you couldn't see it or had never seen it, what do you think it would look like? Notice different textures. There may be pokey bits or maybe smooth bits. Linger if there's anything that delights you or intrigues you or makes you curious. And then give your fingertips a little sniff again. Just notice if there's any smell there. If you're comfortable, and again, it's your plant and hopefully you feel pretty safe with it, I'd invite you to just rub your fingers around in the earth where the stalk or the bottom of the plant meets the earth, the soil that's there. Just again, notice, is there a change in temperature? Any other textures there that you're curious about? And once again, sniff your fingers. Let those aromas hop around inside you, lighting you up like the northern lights, as if you had swallowed the northern lights and they're buzzing around inside you. While you're there, again, if you can wiggle your toes on the ground, and again, noticing the difference in temperatures and textures. There might be smooth flooring, there might be a rug. Move your feet around to see what textures there are. If there's any kind of a breeze in your space, notice that. If you can, take a little leaf from your plant and let it touch the skin on your face or your bare skin on the back of your hands. To again notice, what is the texture of that thing? And how does it feel different in different parts of your body, your hands, your face? If you know your plant is safe, I'd invite you to even take a little taste of it. If you know, I know my geranium is safe, just to sink your teeth in and notice, is there any flavor there for you? If you have a piece of fruit, you could certainly bite into it after already smelling it. But you could also just sip the air through your mouth as if you were sipping through a straw, noticing if there's any flavor in the air, in the room or the space that you are in today. Just let that air come in through your mouth this time. Now, starting to listen. Again, if our eyes are closed, the sounds are often very different. But I invite you to listen to what are the sounds of the space that you are in right now. If there are not many sounds in nature in the space that you're in right now, you might again rub your hands together to hear the sound that that makes. If you happen to be in an outdoor space or with a window where there might be some more sounds of nature, I invite you to cup your hands behind your ears, making them bigger, like a mouse or another creature of the woods, and turn your head a little bit and see if that changes what you hear. Lean in close to your plant and notice if there's any sound there for you. Gradually, just let your hearing come in closer and closer to you till you do get to the closest sound, the closest natural sound you can hear. It may be the sound of your own breathing. In a minute, but not quite yet, I will be inviting you to open your eyes again But before you do, I'd invite you to rub your hands together as if you were warming them, as if it was you were outside and it was a cold winter's day, rubbing them together until you feel a little bit of warmth there. And when you feel warmth, to turn and hopefully still with your eyes closed, hold the palms of your hands out towards your natural thing that you have, or out towards the window, which would be better yet. Especially if you have a window, this is a lovely time to use it. And if you feel a tug or an inclination or something tells you to stop, you rotate your head so that is where you will be looking when you open your eyes in just a moment. When you do open your eyes, I'd invite you to do it really slowly. Well, open your eyes with the slowness of a sunrise, so that the scene that does reveal itself to you reveals it to you slowly. So when you're ready, I would invite you to turn towards the direction that your hands have invited you to look at, and to slowly open your eyes. Look at the scene that is before you, as much of it natural as possible, as if it was the first time you had ever seen this scene. Or if you knew it was going to be the last time you were ever to see this scene, what about it would delight you, would invite you to look further, would make you curious? Gradually, again, just following the curiosity of your own eyes, let your eyes wander, hopefully out your window or around your room. And stop if there's anything that is inviting you to look further, to look longer, but eventually getting in to what is the closest thing in nature you can see, which may be your plant. If there's anything you can turn or twist or look at differently, even just rotate your plant in its pot to see a different aspect of it, I'd invite you to do that now. And then on a regular forest bathing walk, there's only one question that ever gets answered. And the question is this: what are you noticing? What are you noticing? And if anyone would like to just unmute themselves and pop it out there, you can certainly turn on your video if you want. If you just want to unmute and pop out what you're noticing, please feel free to do that. And if no one is comfortable with that or wanting to do that, just as so that is what's called the pleasures of presence, usually again done in an outdoor space where you would have been invited to sit, lean, lie, or stand against a tree in a place where you felt well supported. And it is something that you can do. When I know, just because you're a member of the Toronto Field Naturalists, that your people care a lot about being outdoors. Sometimes as Canadians, when it's cold, we're inclined to just walk fast when we're outdoors, and we tend to not slow down. We don't give ourselves permission to slow down. It's the slowing down, the disconnection from technology is really key. Giving yourself permission to unplug. I call it the joy of logging off. Just say, I'm not going to listen to anything that rings or interferes with my being very present for however much time you can. As Dr. Wang suggests, 20 minutes a day, 20 to 30 minutes a day is considered a great daily dose of nature, outdoors, in nature, disconnected from technology. I'm just seeing a couple of lovely messages here from Gwen Harris. Thank you so much. It says, I have an Emily Carr print of tall evergreens that I've been forgetting. It's beside my window. Sometimes we see things differently. Thanks, Gwen. And Patricio is saying, I notice the striking redness of the dogwood outside my window. Certainly, it's a gorgeous time of year to be noticing, like, every minute there is something new to notice. So I would just leave that with you, knowing that that is just a real little snippet of what you get on a guided forest bathing walk. There would be invitations that continue to deepen your connection with nature through all your senses, and that's where the real magic happens, in the connection with your senses. There's a huge amount there, as Dr. Wang suggested. The research is robust and intense. It has certainly intensified in the last 5 years, but even in this last 24 months, I'm hearing so much about the connection between sensory engagement and the prevention of Alzheimer's. That's why hearing aids are important, but tactile acuity, smelling, listening, looking far, looking outside, tasting, touching, those things are just so good for us for many reasons, but certainly, if nothing else, for helping to keep Alzheimer's at bay. So I would like to thank you for that. I hope you all had at least a nice quiet time. And Phil, did you want to turn it over to, I'll turn it back to you, Phil, and see if there's questions. Shall we do that? Or
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, Beth. I have to say that I've had this plant for like 3 years, and I never really looked at it or smelled it before. But I noticed, I noticed that it has stripes on it, which I didn't know before. And I noticed it's a lot more beautiful up front than it was when it was just sitting in my window. So thank you for that.
Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
lovely.
Thank you so much. Um, so, and Beth, you do forest therapy tours in Barrie, don't you, all year round, pretty much? How do we find out more about them?
Yes. Yes, I guide all year round. Winter, I was telling Phil, is actually, because I'm in Barrie, we get lots of winter, maybe a little bit more than many of you in Toronto, and certainly way more than Dr. Wang in Vancouver. But I love guiding people in the winter because people are usually surprised at an invitation to slow down and engage with things like snow, because mostly when we're outside, we tend to be moving fast just to keep ourselves warm. So on a forest bathing walk outside, you're always bundled up more than you think you would be, certainly more than for a hike, because we don't generate heat through exertion. I've been a guide trained by this group. Dr. Wang mentioned the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy Guides, trained in 2018. I've been guiding in my business, Forest Bathing with Beth. Since then, I have a website. I'm I am sponsored by the city of Barrie, so 12 of the walks I do every year are free. So if you can maybe find a carpool or something, you'll find them all. You need to pre-register. Many of my guests are from Toronto. Um, and to come up and see the city of Barrie now is using forest bathing to invite people to explore new parks. So Sunnydale Park is what I call my home park. It took a bit of a beating this week in the ice storm. So currently it's actually closed until it gets made a little bit safer. But from on Tuesday, April 2nd, I'm doing a guided walk with Springwater Township in an area that's both a wetland and a forest. So there's many free walks. It's lovely to do a virtual walk, but certainly it's 20 times better to get to do one outside. The purpose of the guide, they invite you to, they make it way easier to slow down, to disengage your brain, to put your phone away, they offer you invitations to engage more closely, so you really don't have to think about it. And you're walking with like-minded people who love to be outside too. And the forests love that you're there. It's really a good time to hug a tree. We all need what that brings.
Great. Well, thank you so much for that, Beth. Why don't I kick the questions off, and then Ellen, you're keeping track of questions that might be coming up. I guess my first question actually would be to both you, Beth, and Guangu, and that is, if Toronto were to establish a forest therapy program or fund one here locally, we have tens of thousands of hectares of beautiful ravines where you could do this. What would be the best models to look at in terms of other municipalities across Canada who are doing this and finding that it's a benefit to public health and also has economic benefits? Would it be a BC municipality, or where should we turn to look for models in Canada?
I can pop in with one. I'm sure, Guanyu, you have lots out there too, but just because I know that many of our guests right now are from the GTA, the city of Markham, amazingly, has 3 free public, municipally built and designed forest bathing trails. They're self-guided. So the invitations that I talked about, you getting on a longer walk, you walk through through these beautiful urban parks, but you'll see by a wetland there might be an invitation to just step off the path. The paths are wide, they're accessible. You could do them with a buggy or with a bike, and it's really lovely to do them on foot. But they have really appreciated that this is a great thing to have in a city. And Markham, kudos to Markham. You're the first city in Southern Ontario to do that. Dr. Wang, have you got some more ideas there?
I'm not quite familiar with Toronto area, but I would say we are quite fortunate in Ontario and also BC. We have huge forests, not unlike Saskatchewan or Winnipeg. Those areas is both is grassland, but in BC and in Ontario is a lot of forest. So also in the urban setting. I don't know it's Toronto, but in Vancouver, we have the forest. The municipal was say you have to walk for 10 minutes. You can reach one of the big green space. So it's if we can find a green space, it's large about like 50 meters wide, 100-meter long, that kind of green space. Have the tree, have the forest. The patch of the forest can be cannot be covered, can be 40 to 50, that kind of the forest. And I think it's good enough to develop forest therapy trail. So it's forest therapy it's not like you're walking in the forest, right? Hiking in the forest, you need to have certain area. And for therapy, chair is quite small, not that long, and you walk very slowly. And you're just noticing all the different elements in forest and make a connection with nature. So I think in Toronto, you can find a lot of places can do forest bathing.
Oh, thank you.
And that's so true. And I forgot to mention that on a walk, and I do accessible walks in a special garden in Barrie where there are benches, but I also bring chairs so that people who may not be comfortable sitting on logs can be more supported. But public gardens are beautiful spots for that too. And kudos again to the city of Barrie, who are really surging forward on trying to incorporate forest bathing and uses, more what they call them passive uses of the park system. But on Saturday, June 7th, the city of Barrie is doing a big launch of our Parks Prescriptions program, which is a partnership with Royal Victoria Hospital in Barrie, so our healthcare providers, and Sunnydale Park and the Parks and Recreation program. So Dr. Wang had mentioned this Parks Prescription program, really great. I suggest you ask your healthcare provider if they know about it, because they can prescribe, they can offer you passes to the Toronto Zoo, for one thing. As part of it, that are free for part of and to national parks. So there are lots more partnerships trying to combine our natural spaces and the healing benefits they offer, and help people to be aware of it, and to invite them to come in and feeling welcome and safe.
Great, great. Thank you. Beth, I'm wondering if you could just send us, both to Ellen and me, the names of some of your contacts in the city of Barrie so that we could possibly gather some more information. And also, if you know a contact in Markham, that would be great. And that would help us gather a little bit more information on this. Let me ask just one more question, and then I'll turn it over to Ellen to pose some questions from our audience. What would you advise folks who have limited mobility to do to enjoy the benefits of forest therapy? Beth, maybe you first.
Yeah, sure. I mentioned that I do these ones, again, free to participants, sponsored by the city of Barrie, in a garden. It's a beautiful garden that I use called the Tranquility Garden in Sunnydale Park. And chairs can be provided, but also I guide in another lovely park here that is flat and has asphalt trails. It's not rough stones. So people can navigate it with walkers, with wheelchairs, with buggies. And it's a small loop. So that makes it very, very much accessible. I've guided people as old as 91. So it's not, as it's not a big walk in the forest.
Right.
And it's slow. It's a slow wander.
Okay.
So that certainly helps to make it more accessible.
Great. Well, yeah, thanks. And Dr. Wang, you mentioned in doing forest therapy inside, and you've experimented with some different approaches. What do you recommend for folks with limited mobility if they just stay indoors?
Yeah, we're working with a hospice and also working with the senior homes, and to develop the indoor floor therapy, like a room. That is just very quite simple though. In particular for we have the floor therapy, the projector, all those video ready, and also have the guided floor therapy video, and that can help them to sitting into the room with the virtual reality around some you can use the projector, you can use the goggle. I think that's 30 minutes with the experience indoor is also equally not say 100%, but when you develop the indoor well with different kind of vegetation and different kind of the plant, and you develop the sound, different soundscape, you have the good like projector, I think it's equally sufficient.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Ellen, do you have some questions you could pose?
Well, I'd say that there's been a number of people who have suggested this would be a great future TFN walk idea, and so and a couple of people who agreed with that. There's been a question about opportunities for forest therapy in Toronto that don't require a car, and I think maybe some of those you've already answered. And Riverwood Conservancy was mentioned in Mississauga as an option, and also that there's guided forest bathing walks in High Park. And so there is there's an Eventbrite address there for forest bathing walk in High Park. So there's a lot of interest and activities going on like that. I would also mention that the City of Toronto has really nice indoor greenhouses, Allen Gardens, which is very close to the college subway, and open 365 days a year and free and accessible by wheelchairs and other mobility devices. And it really is a wonderful place for tranquility. There is also, think of Bridgepoint Rehab Hospital, which is down near not too far from the mouth of the Don, near the old Don jail, really. And on their 10th floor, they have a beautiful patio and a view right across the city. And that patio has plants. It's intended for their own rehab patients. And so it's especially, there are raised planters. So again, that is free. And then also, I mean, I just happen to be aware of a hospital right down there on Hospital Row. It's the Monk Cardio Center, I believe, that has an upper floor, really beautiful indoor tropical plant area for recovering patients. So I think that some of the forward-looking hospitals are getting it, that rehab is that connections with nature are important for rehabilitating patients. There's also Beth has just also said there are guided walks at McMichael Gallery and the Brickworks as well as High Park. So there you go.
Yeah, those are other people who trained with me. And further to what you say, Ellen, they say that if you're in a hospital, you heal almost twice as fast if you're in a room with a window.
Yeah.
So try and get a room with a window.
Yeah, sometimes we develop like a video, the projector to develop the videos like thing for the patient. Particularly, they cannot watch the window. We can develop the put the projector to mimic the nature. We call window therapy.
Oh, that's great. Thanks very much for that, Ellen. I have just a technical question for Dr. Wang, which is, what are negative ions and how do they affect your health?
Negative ion is mean when the waterfall or ocean way on the forest, the chemical the how to say, the water was following and then break down. They have the negative ion was generate, and that negative ion can go in through your body through the breathing, and that can help you to release like the stress. It's a lot of research on that native iron and human health. I can send you some material. Some paper was published is very well documented. The leadership.
Great. Well, yeah, thanks. Yeah, do send that along. So I think we've come to the end of our session, and I want to thank Beth and Guangu very much for your presentations. Very interesting, and may steer our organization in some new directions in terms of the walks that we do. And I hope the audience enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join us next month on May 4th for our Toronto's prescribed grazing project, and learn how goats are able to you know, take care of some of those invasive species, and much more cheaply than other ways of doing it. So thank you all very much for coming, and have a great afternoon and evening. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.